Greetings, I'm Tammy Hill Thomas from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD headquarters in Washington, D.C. I'm excited to discuss something with you today that's a true passion of mine. That's youth homelessness. Our office, SNAPS, has funded a program called YHDP, the Youth Homeless Demonstration Program. This program is meant to help cities who see youth runaways, a high rate of youth with children in the shelters. We want to be able to assist that population with getting them the unique wraparound services that will be helpful to them at a young age. And the rate of homelessness that we've seen over the last few years for this youth population has sadly increased. On one single night in January, the coldest night of the year, we conduct a point-in-time count, a pit count, when individuals, including yourselves, volunteers, come together and they count those who are literally homeless on the street. Sadly, many of those include our youth. And on one single night in January 2015, 36,907 youth were identified as homeless. Experiencing homeless is so difficult for grown individuals, but certainly that much more traumatic for youth. So I want to give you some statistics to tell you why paying attention to this issue is so important. 87.4% of those that were identified, 87% were between the ages of 18 and 24. KSU, that's your age. Your age bracket where you have your peers and friends straight out of high school. You're hanging out, you're having fun. And yet there are some individuals, some youth who are out homeless. Of that 87%, are you ready for this? 12% were under 18, by themselves, alone, unaccompanied. And it's very important because we might look at homelessness as just the man on the street holding a sign, or the woman on the corner holding a cardboard. But what I wanted to share with you today was some true statistics. Every year, the point-in-time count produces stats, the numbers I just read to you. And we submit those stats to Congress in what's called the AHAR, the Annual Homeless Assessment Report. We give those numbers to Congress because they're the ones that give us in HUD the money to send to homeless providers on the street. And as much as possible, we want to make sure that those who are experts in working with kids, in working with those who are trauma, and working with homeless youth get those funds so that they can wrap the individual up in services to help them get on a better path of recovery. So this is what I would challenge you, wonderful college students of KSU, to consider whatever area your degree is going to be in. Consider giving back, figuring out a way to help, especially kids your age. Because we're not just looking at homeless youth who are runaways. We're looking at a high transgender and LGBTQ community as well in the youth category, where they're looking for their identity or they've identified themselves with an identity and they just need a home. Whatever they're dealing with in the trauma requires them to not have shelter. So they come to professional homeless service providers looking for that help. And so whatever you do, understand there's a way that you can impact youth homelessness. And I'm going to give you some examples. If you're a nurse studying medicine, there are certainly so many ways that you can help the youth prior to them even getting to a hospital. There are nurses in schools. There are nurses in athletic teams, athletic associations that help kids at a young age. There are medical professionals that are firefighters, EMTs, emergency medical technicians. And they help in an emergency state to get you to a place where you can get to a hospital to get help. So if you're in the medical field, there's still a way. If you're a PR, public relations, or you're studying marketing, I got one for you. How about a billboard on the highway reminding individuals that every November is Homelessness Awareness Month? And to spread the word, t-shirts, marketing campaigns, whatever you can do to remember to uplift society. And construction workers, don't forget about you. If you're focusing on engineering, you're trying to figure out how to design things, consider some shelters. Consider building housing that can help the low income and the underprivileged, those who really need the housing and just can't afford it. Consider how your path will move forward where you can be a help. I believe everything is intentional, and it's no mistake that you're seeing me today, hearing of the high rate of youth, your age now, that are out and looking and unsure. And I also believe that there's a reason you're pursuing your career. And if you're not sure what you want to do, remember, whatever it is, give back. There are many ways you can do this. So I'm going to say this before I leave. We're in a season where voting is important, because all the money that goes to Congress then goes to communities. But there are bills that have to collect that money, decide what to do with that money. That bill is developed in Congress, has to be passed by your president. And local governments make the decision. Once we send the money to Georgia, they have to figure out what to do with it. So it's your local politicians as well. So voting, another way you can donate. If you don't feel comfortable giving money to someone on the street, please don't compromise yourself. Please don't do it. But you can donate. There's Meals on Wheels programs in the Georgia area, not far from KSU, is a mission. And is highly recognized for giving out lunch every day to anybody who shows up at their door hungry. Consider giving, donating your time. If you decide your money, we thank you. But what's most important is to remember, you have an opportunity to make a difference today and in the future once you get your degree and start your field of study. Think about how to give back and be a difference. Youth homelessness is huge, and we need you to help resolve it. Make a difference today and stay encouraged and live on purpose.